Hello and welcome back to ASX Market Watch and charting trend signals around the world. Guys, absolutely fantastic to have you here. This is a very important weekend in the history of the world, I would have to say. All eyes are on Greece and exactly what's going to happen. We get news reports every now and again, and conflicting news reports as well. At the moment, it's looking good, but who knows what will happen? It seems to be turning around every couple of hours. But look, apart from that, sometimes the best way is to just get a good look at the charts and see which way money is flowing, and just base your trading or investing on that in some way, shape, or form. And that's what we intend to do today. Just really quickly, we're looking at the entire world as per usual, starting with Down Under really quickly. And the best thing about Down Under is that we are so close to a Dow theory entry, which is one part of Dow's theory. There are three parts of Dow's theory. This is one part, and that one part would give us an entry signal based on a close above 4,400 on the All Ordinaries, based on, very simply, just a little zigzag up. And really, I mean, that stuff is what we're looking for at the moment. Now, let me just put that into context for you, because if we have a look, back here in May, that's when we called the downtrend. What was that? Little zigzag down, exactly. Back when we called the uptrend in August to September 2011, got some very decent gains out of that, a nice run for about 5-6 months. That was a little zigzag up, exactly right. Back in June 2009, before we got 6 months of upward prices, was a zigzag up. And right before this beautiful crisis all began, what does that look like to you? And I'll even just enlarge it just a tiny, tiny smidge. Let's have a look. Here we go. Down, up, down. There's your little zigzag down. And that's way back in December 2007. Now, so that's the significance of that pattern that I'm showing you there. Very, very simple stuff. From on a daily chart, guys, we're looking at a triangular pattern. Triangular patterns, as you can see here, there's our top resistance. If it breaks out above that, it would be happy days. At the moment, if it breaks down below 4,200, 4,150, that would be a bearish signal, but we've still got a long way to go. So as you can see, it's really in between those two sections there. And if it breaks out to the upside, happy days. If it breaks out to the downside, run for cover. So that's very simple. And yeah, that means that you don't have to keep watching the news every day just to find out every little nuance that happens in Greece, whether it's going to default or when it's going to default or not. And so very simple on the All Ordinaries. Very good stuff. What we've got next is let's look at Europe, because Europe seems to be where everything is happening right now. And again, let's look at the weekly chart just really quickly. As you can see, we got that little zigzag up, happy days. That happened probably about nearly 2 months ago, about a month and a half ago now. And yes, the market has been heading up. Here's a daily chart again. The market has been heading up since then. Just really quickly, again, if the FTSE was to break down, which, look, guys, what I'm expecting is for this whole Greece thing to go through, to happen, and as in to sort itself out, and then there's so much cheap money out there. There's money being lent at 1%. It has to go somewhere. It's going into the markets, which is why you're seeing these solid, these very low volatility rises. There's no jumping about. It's very orderly. And that's because there's money just being systematically pumped into the system, and that's exactly what's happening here. But look, if something does happen with Greece, and yes, there are still people who are expecting that to happen sooner rather than later, if that does happen, obviously, we're going to see big falls and big volatility. So just be wary. Keep your stop losses in. This is very important at this stage in the game. You have to be wary and always on your guard at this stage, just because we're in a very high risk sort of area of the game at the moment. I hope all that makes sense. But look, a close below, I would say the 50-day moving average on the FTSE, that'd be below this trough here, and I'll just enlarge that a little bit. That would be about 5,600 at this stage, about 5,650. So yeah, that's your footsie, but again, still in an uptrend, and yeah, not rocket science in any way, shape, or form. Let's look at the Euro stocks is another one that people follow, and if I can find that, yeah, here it is. So the Euro stocks 50, really, really simple. Again, yes, it is in an uptrend, and yes, I'd be very cautious if it closed below the 50-day moving average. And or the previous sort of trough, which is around your 2350 or your 2400 mark on the Euro Stoxx 50. So yeah, now that's really all there is to say about that. And as you can see, look at this orderly incline. That's just that systematic money going into the markets at this stage of the game. But yeah, so again, be very careful, because if something bad does happen, like if Greece doesn't come to the party, then yes, you will see increased volatility and you'll see increased falls. Keep your stop losses in. That's very important. Next is let's look at the S&P 500. And again, we had our entry signal way back here. This is probably about 3 weeks ago now, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Very, not rocket science in any way, shape, or form. Here's a downtrend line. Crossed above that downtrend line, made a little zigzag pattern up, and that just indicates that there's buyers supporting the move, which there was and which there have been. The market has continued up from there. And yeah, and again, look, we've got a lot of support from this trend line here, and I'll just increase that a little bit. There we go. There's our trend line. You see there's the support. It's going to find support at 1300, so that will be a level there. And again, just be very mindful. Keep your stop losses in. Be wary of the volatility that may occur. And if everything sorts itself out in Greece, for now at least, there's enough cheap money to keep this market heading skywards for a little while longer yet. And so it'd just be crazy not to be in on that move. Especially, if you're in a very liquid market that you can get out of easily if things do go bad. So yes, there are a lot of things to consider at the moment, guys. And I guess that's just part of the trading game. This is the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, in Asia. Beautiful market, called an uptrend right about here a couple of weeks ago. Yes, the market has continued up since then. Where would we look for an exit? I would say, well, all of these little things are converging. See this uptrend line, see the 50-day moving average, which is the red one, see the 150-day moving average, which is the green one, 19,407, about 19,400. That is your level to beat. Apart from that, we had, a couple of weeks ago, we had a target on the Hang Seng of approximately 21,700. And yeah, look, there's definitely the possibility that it will that will be the target still in play for the Hang Seng. Again, just depending what happens over this weekend. But yeah, and again, keep those stop losses in at this stage of the game. What have we got next? Really quickly, the Nikkei. That's right, the Nikkei. Now, this one we did have, look, it's crossed, it has given us a sort of short-term uptrend over the last couple of weeks. Yes, the Nikkei has done that. I haven't called it just because of this, see this bar, see this overhanging downtrend line. This is going to cause us severe resistance at this point. And as you can, well, yeah, it's a tricky one, the Nikkei, because the world markets will tend to move together. And so, yes, the Nikkei is heading up because the other world markets are heading up as well. Obviously, there's money flowing into these markets at this stage. But yeah, look, on the Nikkei in Japan, that's where you'll find your resistance, and that resistance point is around about 9,100, 9,200. So yeah, look, guys, short-term uptrend, yes. Still long-term resistance down. Apart from that, that's pretty much the world from a chartist point of view. If we make it out of this weekend alive, then I will see you next week. And yes, let's hope all the best wishes for the Eurozone and everything that goes on there over this weekend, and all the best wishes for traders out there. Stick to your trading rules. Make sure you know your rules and have back-tested your rules. Keep your stop losses in. Stay safe. Don't risk too much, but risk enough to make a trade meaningful. Guys, brilliant stuff. Have a great week. Love your work. Happy trending. Until next week. Bye for now.